All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Looking forward to this one.
This time we're going to be taking a look at the automotive scene in Peru.
Oh yeah, I've been looking over this data. It's pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah, our source for this one is Fleet Mobility Today, and I think this is going to be a really interesting one.
Yeah, you don't hear a lot about the auto market in Peru, so I'm really curious to see what's going on.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at some key stats from the market and just trying to figure out, like, what are the popular models? What are the trends? What's going on?
Yeah, like what are people driving? What do they want to be driving? And what's preventing them from driving what they want?
Yeah, exactly. So to get started, like I always like to do, let's just paint a picture of Peru for the listeners.
Sure.
So we're talking about a country with a population of 34.4 million people.
Okay, so decent sized market.
Yeah, and a GDP of US $271 billion.
Okay.
Some of the biggest industries over there are mining, fishing, and textiles.
Interesting. So those are all pretty, like, resource-intensive industries.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that plays into their transportation needs.
Yeah, and we'll definitely get into that and, how that affects their vehicle choices and all that. But just to give everybody a sense of, what the car market looks like over there, there are about 3 million light vehicles
Okay.
on the road in Peru right now.
So that's cars, SUVs, that sort of thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
But in 2024, new vehicle registrations actually went down 8.2% year over year.
Huh. That's interesting. I wonder if that's a reflection of something specific to Peru.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to kind of get into, right? Like trying to figure out
Untangle that, yeah.
exactly what's driving that. Because on the other hand, while light vehicles are going down, heavy-duty vehicles actually went up by 5.3%.
So like big trucks and buses and things like that.
Exactly, yeah.
Interesting. So maybe there's a shift towards commercial vehicles for those industries that we talked about, like mining and fishing.
Yeah, and maybe even like infrastructure projects, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But we'll get more into that. Okay, so who are the big players who's winning the market share over there?
Yeah, I'm curious.
So Toyota is actually the #1 brand in Peru.
Really?
Yeah, in 2024, they sold over 32,000 units.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, they're really dominating the market over there.
I wonder why Toyota specifically. Are they just known for reliability, or is there something else going on?
Well, we can get into that, but I do want to just mention the rest of the top 5. So after Toyota, you've got Hyundai, Kia, Chevrolet, and then Changan.
Okay, so a pretty diverse mix of brands there.
Yeah, but like I said, Toyota's really king. And one thing I found super interesting is that while overall car sales dipped, sales of Toyota's hybrid vehicles actually skyrocketed.
Oh, wow.
They went up by 94.2%.
That's a huge jump. So people are obviously interested in fuel efficiency. Maybe they're worried about rising gas prices, or maybe they're just becoming more eco-conscious.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a really great transition into some of the top models that are popular in Peru.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, of course, the Toyota Corolla is a big one, known for its good gas mileage.
Yeah, makes sense.
Also, the Toyota Hilux.
The Hilux, yeah, that's classic.
And then the Hyundai Grand I-10.
Interesting.
And the Tucson. And we can't leave out the Nissan Versa and Sentra.
Yeah, those are popular everywhere.
Right, and the Honda Jazz and Civic.
Okay, so it seems like there's a pretty good mix of sedans and SUVs in there.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, that's something that I thought was really interesting because when you think about it, Peru doesn't actually have any major car manufacturing plants.
Oh, really? So all those cars are imported?
Yeah, so they're relying on imports for their entire fleet.
Wow, that's got to have some implications for the market, like prices and availability.
Right, exactly. So like if there's any kind of global supply chain disruption,
Yeah,
that's going to hit Peru especially hard.
that's a really good point.
So yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind. And speaking of prices, I was curious
Yeah.
about how much it actually costs to fuel up in Peru.
Yeah, me too.
So a liter of gasoline will set you back about US $1.10.
Okay.
And diesel's a little bit cheaper at US €0.94.
All right.
But if you're driving an electric vehicle, electricity costs about US $0.16 to US $0.18 per kilowatt.
So significantly cheaper to charge an electric car.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I'm wondering, with those prices and with that kind of interest in hybrids, could we see a shift towards EVs in Peru?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, we saw that huge jump in hybrid sales, so there's clearly some interest in fuel efficiency.
Right.
And with electricity being so much cheaper than gas, it seems like EVs could be a good option.
Yeah, but of course there's other factors to consider, right? Like the availability of charging infrastructure.
Yeah, that's true.
And government incentives. Like, are there any policies in place to encourage people to buy EVs?
Those are all good questions, and it'll be interesting to see how those things develop in the coming years.
Yeah, so we've really seen this kind of interesting picture emerge, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like this dip in car sales overall, but an increase in heavy-duty vehicles and hybrids and all these popular models.
Like a snapshot of a nation in transition.
Yeah, figuring out how they want to move into the future.
Exactly.
So before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question.
Okay.
What kind of car do you think will be the most popular in Peru 5 years from now?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, will it be those tried and true Toyotas, or will we see a surge in EVs?
Right.
Or maybe something else entirely?
Yeah, let us know what you think, and thanks for joining us for this look into Peru's automotive scene.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Always a pleasure.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Fleet Mobility Today.